Welcome back. Lessons from Boston's late civil rights activist Mel King. A statewide initiative is underway with the nonprofit training hub named for the community leader. It's a call to action to revisit King's book, Chain of Change, Struggles for Black Community Development. First published in 1981, the Mel King Institute is using his ideas and legacy to build community. Now, King was an educator, a politician, and a writer. He broke barriers as the first finalist in the race for Boston mayor in 1983, running against the eventual winner, Raymond Flynn. His campaign embodying unity under the Rainbow Coalition helped to ease racial tensions in the city. And here to explain the reading initiative is Sharonda Almeida, director of the Mel King Institute, and Kavi Neva, who is coordinating the statewide read. What a great idea. I love it. So Sharonda, first, tell us a little bit more about what the book is about.
Thank you for having us. The book is really about the history of change within the city of Boston, and it looks at education, housing, and it's a real good playbook for folks to think about as they're doing their social change efforts. And at the Mel King Institute, we're really supporting people that are doing social change efforts, building their capacity, and building community. So I think this book is a way for folks to really grasp what has happened in the city of Boston.
Okay, so explain, if you would, Sharonda, what the book club initiative is about, where the idea of creating a statewide reading program came from.
Well, we're trying to always uplift Mel's legacy at the Mel King Institute, and he has thought leadership that I think we can still learn from. The book came out in 1981, but it was republished in 2016 by the Eastern Bank Foundation, and there's new information in this new version. So if you're reading it, make sure you get the 2016 version, which has additional information. And we really thought for our CDC members working at MACDC that they need to understand this community development history. And this history is very relevant today, and a lot of it hasn't changed, sadly. So I think in today's days where people are struggling to bring equity to their communities, we can use this book as a playbook, as a guidebook for our work.
You know, so many of the politicians on today's scene looked to Mel King as a mentor. You know, Michelle Wu talks about being at Mel King's house on Sunday for breakfast, Ayanna Pressley, et cetera. You know, they've all read this book. Kavi, tell us more about some of the organizations and groups that are participating in the resurgence of this document.
Sure. So we're really excited that so many folks across Massachusetts and even in other states like DC, Texas, are participating. We have CDCs like Jamaica Plain NDC participating, Fenway CDC. We have community groups like St. John's Church in JP, as well as several Boston Public Library branches, and some businesses as well. So Eastern Bank, who helped fund the republishing of this 2016 edition, they're hosting a club, and Just Bookish as well.
Okay,
so,
all right. So
yeah.
Kavi, you know, Mel King's a local icon.
Yeah.
He is just everybody's hero, but he was from a different time in Boston. So you are a relative newcomer to Boston and from a different generation. What have you taken away from reading this book?
So, yeah, I am new to Boston. I moved here about a year ago. And what I took away was, as Sharonda was saying, it really is a primer, a guidebook for folks who are new to community building. That's how I read it. So it just gives you the steps on how to be a good leader, how to build coalition effectively, and how to reach out to different groups to all come together to build chain of change.
Great grassroots training. Sharonda, why is it important for you to read this as part of a book club and not as an individual?
Yeah, it's about the community piece, right? It's actually, there's a lot of information in it, and I think you learn more when you're talking about what you've read and when you're sharing with different people. Some of the groups, the book clubs are coming together with other folks in the community so they can learn together, and you broaden your perspectives and you get a deeper impact. And also thinking about, how does this apply to the work that I'm doing in the community? You know, how can we work together? How can we build coalition? You know,
that was very much like the Sunday breakfasts that Mel King used to have in his house, where people would sit around and talk about different ways to enrich the community and get things done.
Yes, and he would often have folks at that breakfast go around the table and say one thing that's happening. You know, what's something good that's going on in your community? And we provided folks with a discussion guide and also a format for thinking about how can you really build community as you're talking about these books. So many folks are having multiple meetings. It's not just a one and done type of conversation, because there's a lot in that book that we can learn from.
Now, Kavi, this was launched at the end of 2024. Is it too late to join the read? And how can you create a book club, or how can our viewers create a book club to take part in this?
It is certainly not too late. So we did launch it at the end of October and last fall. But just go to our website, melkinginstitute.org. We have a section on Chain of Change where you can fill out the enrollment form, and I will send you the reading guide.
All right. Now, you're inviting all the book clubs to an event on February 25th at the Boston Foundation to kind of close out the event. What can those clubs expect if they participate?
Well, they're going to help make the event. So we're hoping that they're going to come with their lessons, their learnings, their ideas, that they're going to come and help build a conversation. Also thinking about what have we learned? You know, what are some next steps? Like, are there some actions that come out? You know, maybe we're thinking about how we can create greater change. And in this day and age, folks are really, you know, nervous about what's happening in our communities. And I think that they might come out with some great ideas if we work together and come together. So it'll be an active event, not just a panel discussion with people at the front of the room, but having people who have read the book really help create the event.
One of my great Mel King memories, before I started working at Channel 5, I worked at WLD Radio.
Oh, nice.
And I was covering the preliminary election the night that he won. And as everyone knows, the victory party was downtown at the Omni Parker House on the top floor. And talk about raising the roof. People were just screaming with delight.
Good times.
Because even though he didn't win the election that year, the final election, the fact that he made it to the preliminary was a huge step for Boston.
For sure.
Yeah,
for
a lot
sure.
of great memories with Mel King. Kavi and Sharonda, thank you so much for joining us. Listen, everybody, you can get Chain of Change, Struggles for Black Community Development at Frugal Bookstore in Roxbury and Just Bookish. We'll post the link to how to create your own book club on our website at wcvb.com/cityline.